Hello, and thank you for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of important information to share with you here this week, so please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, relatives, and anyone else who you think might find this information helpful over the course of the coming week. I want to start off by thanking our DPW workers for the great work that they did at this past snowstorm. Official reports have us getting anywhere between 29 and 31 inches of snow just on Tuesday alone. Now, to put into perspective the work that our DPW workers did as part of this storm, they were called in at about 8 p.m. on Monday evening, and they did not go home until noon on Wednesday. They worked 40 hours straight, first between 8 p.m. and 1 a.m. on Monday night, going in salt rounds to pre-treat the roads themselves, and then plowing straight through from 1 a.m. on Tuesday morning all the way to noon on Wednesday. Now, they have started to go out and take care of some of the sidewalks that we've done, but however, we did need to send them home so that they could rest after 40 hours of straight work. So they are out right now taking care of the sidewalks. We expect to be able to get the snow bankings on the edges of the downtown and the South Gardner Business District sidewalks probably sometime between Tuesday and Wednesday of this coming week. So please be patient on that. If you are walking in a street and the sidewalk plow has not gotten a chance to take care of your sidewalk, just please be patient with us here. Our workers have really been doing a ton of work just to take care of what happened here. We haven't seen a storm like this in a couple decades in Gardner, where we've gotten close to a yard of snow over a 24-hour period. So thank you again very much to our DPW workers. One of the coolest parts about this experience too was and I need to thank one of our DPW foreman, Doug Monroe, for this as well, and our DPW director, Dane Arnold. I got to go drive around with a couple of our plow trucks to see and experience what our DPW workers go through. I try to do this about once a year to just get that perspective and experience, because I can, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but the experience is worth the whole book itself. So I really do want to thank Dougie for letting me go around and really seeing how those plow routes work. For those of you who may not know, the city has 25 different plow routes that go out. We've got about 31 pieces of equipment that take care of us during every storm. Each plow route is about 30 miles. When you add up how much our workers and plow drivers were going around, each driver did about 360 miles during that 40-hour period. When you add that all up together, 360 miles from Gardner is actually the Washington Monument down in Washington, D.C. So each individual driver did that distance just in that day and a half alone, in Gardner alone. Added up together, we're talking about 12,000 miles, which is here to Australia. So I want to thank our DPW workers, because they really did a lot of work, and they really don't get thanked as much as they should for keeping our roads clear and safe for us as we do that. And especially with a storm of this size that we just really haven't seen in quite a long time. We want to remind people that this coming Sunday at 11 o'clock, there is an Easter egg hunt over at the Gardner Fish and Gun Club. So if you're looking for a fun activity to do this weekend, again, 11 o'clock this coming Sunday, March 19th, at the Gardner Fish and Gun Club. Fun time for everyone to enjoy there. The health fair that the Gardner Community Action Team had originally scheduled for earlier this week had to be postponed due to the weather events that we had. As such, that new date for that is on April 12th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Perry Auditorium. Again, there's several different vendors and resource groups that'll be there to help provide information, so if you're interested in attending that, again, that'll be April 12th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. in Perry Auditorium at Gardner City Hall. As a result of the storm, several storm drains and fire hydrants are still buried under the snow. If you are able to, please feel free to go out and help us as a whole, city as a whole, to dig those out. We want to make sure that if there is an emergency that does happen around the city, that gets taken care of. So while we can get to the sidewalks as quickly as we can with our DPW crews, we want to make sure that our residences are as safe as possible. So if you are near a fire hydrant and you are able to, please consider helping us and helping the Gardner Fire Department by trying to shovel those out as best we can. The flower pot program and the banners are coming back this year. We have 250 flower pots to go out throughout the city. Those will go in the downtown area, down Rear Main Street, on Elm Street, and in the South Gardner Village Center. To put this into perspective, we had 125 flower pots last year. The second half of that shipment has arrived. So we'll be doing a full 250 flower pots out in the city. That's $200 a year to sponsor that flower pot. Every sponsor gets their name and a sign that gets planted into the pot with the flowers. What your $200 gets is it covers the cost of the pot, the flowers that'll go into it, and then maintenance costs such as watering. Now, because we are doing a full 7 months with these flower pots out this year, there'll be an initial planting done the week before Memorial Day, and then the first week of September, those plants will be removed and mums will be planted in. That'll go from the first week of September to the week after Thanksgiving. So there's a lot more being done this year. We understand that last year that these flower pots were only $75 a sponsorship. That's because they were only put out the second week of September and moved out the week after Thanksgiving, so really just that second half. So since we're doing a full 7 months now with the cost of the pot, the watering, the flowers themselves for both plantings and things like that, that accounts for the extra cost that's associated with that. The banners are also coming down in downtown, and we'll be putting up new banners that are themed for the city's centennial celebration this year. Those are also $200 for a sponsorship, and those will go out sometime in April and remain up until next April 2024. So those will remain up for a full 12 months. If you have any questions on how to sponsor those programs, either a flower pot or a banner or both, there's no limit to how many each individual business organization, whoever wants to sponsor, can sponsor, and you can contact either Colin Smith in my office or our City Economic Development Coordinator, Jessica DeRoy. The Centennial Committee is going to put on a flashback dance at Perry Auditorium on April 22nd, and that'll go from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. with adult beverages served by the Gardner Ale House and Moon Hill Brewing. If you are interested in attending that, it'll really be a great way to just get out and have a fun night. It's a throwback homage, if you will, to the old Friday night City Hall dances that used to take place, as several people remember, in the Gardner for quite some time. And there'll be music going back throughout the decades as well, with a guest celebrity as our DJ. So thank you very much to the Centennial Committee for putting that on, and I'm looking forward to seeing as many people as possible in Perry Auditorium. Again, that'll take place on April 22nd from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. The American Cancer Society has notified the city that their annual Light the Town Purple event will take place on Monday, May 1st at 7 p.m. In the front of City Hall. This is a way to help us kick off the time before the Relay for Life happens in early June. So make sure you mark that on your calendar as we start to move forward there. Now, several of you may notice that we're doing this week's update in a different location. We are over at the GETV TV studio with several different chairs around me, because I just had the pleasure of having a special program with a couple of the star actors for the middle school's upcoming performance of Beauty and the Beast Jr. that'll take place on March 31st at 7 p.m. and on April 1st at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. over at the cafetorium of Gardner Middle School. Make sure you check that out. A lot of our students talked about, the roles that they're playing, the fun that they've had learning it, the experiences they had, the lessons they've learned. And then we also had to speak with two of the directors for the play, Mr. Gianni DeVilli and Mr. Larry Zuaro. So make sure you check that out, and make sure you also go attend the play itself. It's sure to be a great musical to attend. We also want to remind people, if you catch this at the beginning half of the week, that Gardner High School is putting on their performance of Little Shop of Horrors at 7 p.m. in Landry Auditorium on Friday the 17th and Saturday the 18th as well. More information on ticket costs and all of the show times themselves can be found on the school department's website, www.gardnerk12.org. And as always, too, with the attire that I have here, happy St. Patrick's Day to all who celebrate as well, as someone who's not Irish in the slightest, but likes to wear the attire. However, that concludes this week's Mayor's Update. As always, if you have any questions on anything going on around the city at all, you can feel free to contact my office at any time, and I look forward to speaking with you again next week. Thank you very much, and have a great day.